Welcome back to our second video here, and we're going to talk about the pre-work that you're going to do before you come to Iowa. We want to explain it in the video so that you feel comfortable in being able to accomplish this. It's very similar to what we do in venture school. So as I was describing how we take this across the state, we have homework that our businesses or organizations do before each venture school program, each venture school day and program. And what it does is it helps you to update your learning as you're going through this week by week. Since I can't go to Africa and do this with you before you come, I have to ask you to do it before you come to the state of Iowa. So, Dimy, we talk about the answers being outside the building. What do we mean by answers being outside the building?
Means they have to go out and talk to people. That's
Right.
what it is. Talk to people.
Right. And as I said, you're going to want to do that before you come because it will be much easier for you to get the information you need. So in our pre-work assignment, you've already seen the detail of this. We have an article we'd like you to read. We have a few videos. One is on the business model canvas by Greg Barkas, who will be one of our instructors. And then we have a customer discovery video by Elizabeth, which is really helpful. And that's what you're going to want to watch to be prepared to do your customer discovery. Now, in customer discovery, we suggest you do this face to face, person to person, because you can really see the reaction of people, their facial expressions, and you gain a lot of insight that you can't get over the phone or WhatsApp. But if you have to do Zoom, that is the second best thing, or WhatsApp. So what this is all about is you are in the learning phase about your customers. And that's what customer discovery is going to help you to do. And this idea of lean startup versus waterfall, well, it used to be that you would just have this great idea and you'd go and build it before you even talk to your customers. And that's where a lot of the failure happens because we think we have an idea that will work, but we have not talked to our customers enough to gain insight. So you're in this learning phase about your customers and stakeholders. So Dimy, explain the rest of this and maybe how it continues to work.
Kim, this is a process that never stops. You continue, you learn, you build, you measure. Even, even after you go past the startup phase, you are 5 year, 10 years company, you continue to go back to your customers and learn from them and build as they want it to solve the problems that they have. And then you go back to them, you measure, you test things, you experiment things. It's a process that never stops. You continue doing it all the time.
Thank you for that explanation. And it really fits well with our next discussion about interviewing, because maybe you have an existing business and you think, I know my customers, I don't need to do this. Guess what? No matter what phase your business or organization is in, this is something that you will want to do. So we have a few ground rules for interviewing. First, adopt a beginner's mind. So listen and understand from your customer's perspective, what are their problems, what are their challenges, and do it in an open mind so you can really hear what they're saying. And the next one, listen more than you talk. Sometimes that's hard for us. I don't know. My mom used to say, you've got two ears and one mouth for a reason. And so really listen to what they are saying to the best of your ability. Get facts, not opinions. And what this means is that if you ask someone, would you be interested in using this product? First of all, it's a yes or no question. Doesn't give you much information. Secondly, it is asking you it's asking the person to give an opinion rather than a fact. So what you can say is, what has been your experience in the past with utilizing something like this? Okay, so that is an actual fact of what they've done. Our next rule is ask why to get motivation. And this is a real valuable tool. You can always do a follow-up. So, for example, on that question that I asked, what's been your experience with this type of situation in the past? You could say, oh, why was that? And they will delve deeper into understanding. The goal of customer insight and interviews is not selling. Oh, this is another hard one. Right up there with listening because we're entrepreneurial and we think we have good ideas. So sometimes we want to sell. No, you really want to hear what your customer is saying and not sell. So don't mention solutions. And then the final two are to be sure that you follow up with any additional things like, is there anything else I should have asked you? Or can I follow up with you? And always open those doors at the end with those types of comments. So now I'm going to engage Dimy. I've asked him to be my pretend customer. And we're going to go back to a time before we had Uber, when there really were just taxis or maybe some other kind of transportation. So are you up for this, Dimy?
Boss, I'm ready.
All right. So I'm going to ask Dimy a few questions as though I were doing a customer discovery interview with him. Dimy, thank you so much for agreeing to visit with me.
My pleasure.
I would like to ask you, I know you travel a lot. So can you tell me, how do you go about getting transportation when you're out traveling and you need a transportation?
Well, I mean, the first thing that I you always come to my mind is, well, I'll just go outside and take a taxi, and it usually doesn't work, or the taxi is sometimes not always available. And that's what I always do: go outside and take a taxi. And but it's always sometimes I have to wait for a long time.
Okay, so you just described one challenge of having to wait. Can you share with me any other challenges that you have with this
Yeah.
way that you get transportation?
And the other way is sometimes, I'm gonna get in the taxi. When I'm overseas in Africa, I have to negotiate with the taxi driver. I say I'm going to this hotel, how much? And they will tell me a price and I have to negotiate. And again, that's time that I'm wasting because I need to get to my next place. Or sometimes the taxi has a meter in it and the meter keep running, and it can get to be very expensive. So I still don't know how much I'm gonna pay.
Right. And so tell me about that. How do you pay?
Uh, Most of the times you have to pay by cash.
Oh,
You have to pay by cash, and I don't always have that exact cash with me,
okay.
especially when the taxi has a meter in it.
Right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that information. It's been very helpful.
You're welcome.
So that gives you an idea of a very brief customer discovery. And of course, I would follow up by saying, is there anything else I should ask you? And is there anyone else that I should talk to? The next exercise that you've received in your pre-work is something called an assumptions exercise. And if you go through this, it asks you really good questions like, who's my target customer? What problem is my customer wanting to solve? And there's some other questions like, um, who will be the earliest adopter of this? So maybe as you're going through these interviews, you find people that really get excited about their challenges or what's happening. That might be your earliest adopter. So we'd like you to just fill this out, to the best of your ability because it gives you insight into what questions you might ask. We will provide feedback on your very first interview. So in a moment, we are going to go on to the next segment of what's due for pre-work. But what's really important is that you get the very first assignment done and sent to us by the deadline so that we can give you this feedback. And it will come via email from myself or Greg Barkas, the other instructor. Then once you get the feedback, you can go on and you can develop the next set of customers that you're going to interview. And again, we want you to do this before you come to Iowa. And you will record this information so that when you get back to Iowa, or when you get to Iowa, you'll be able to utilize that as we go through Venture School. We also have the business model canvas included in this pre-work. And in a moment, I'm going to show you that, along with the ad lib value proposition document. And you're going to bring all of that with you to Iowa. Next, I'm going to have Dimy just do a real quick review of the business model canvas.
Certainly, Kimm. And there is a video that Kimm mentioned. Greg Barkas, he prepared that video for you that go thoroughly on the business model canvas. But in this here, I'd like to talk to you about the boxes that we want you to focus on while you are doing your customer discoveries. There are two important boxes. It's the customer segments. When you talk to people that you're going to talk, that will help you define your customer segments. Who are your customers and why you think they are your customers, and define them really very specific. It even give details of gender, age, where they are, what they like, etc., etc. And then customer relationships. What are you going to do to get them, to keep them, and to grow them? Okay, you know who your customers are. Now, what are you going to do to get them, keep them, and grow them? What type of relationships you're going to be working on, etc., etc. And then, the value proposition. Now that you know your customer, you know their pain and gain. As Kimm and I, we were doing she was doing the customer discovery with me on transportation. So you kind of heard of my pain. Okay, my pain is I don't know how much I'm paying. It's taking me a lot of time when I'm waiting for taxi. So, and then you know what I'm looking for, something that can save me on time, that can tell me exactly how much I'll be paid before I even leave, and that can also be reasonable on price. So then use that, the pain and the gain that the customer is looking for, to define the value proposition. So focus on value proposition, customer relations, and customer segments. At this stage, we don't expect you to be perfect. It's gonna be just a start, right, Kimm? So we just want you to get started, but when you come, we will help you really define them and make it the way that it needs to be. Back to you, Kimm.
Yes, thanks, Dimy, for that explanation. And the other item that we want you to take, we want you to try to fill this out to the best of your ability, as Dimy said with the business model canvas, and it's called an ad lib value proposition. And it really is like a very brief pitch. And so you've got this in your packet. And now I'm going to just share with you an example of it using our Uber services. So our Uber services help young, urban, and middle income riders to get a ride or a taxi service. And we do that by reducing the time and uncertainty. Remember, Dimy talked about time it took and the uncertainty of how much it was going to cost, and by allowing for an easy and reliable and economical service, unlike a taxi. So this is an example of how we have gone from your customer discovery filling out the BMC business model canvas with segments, how to get the customers, and what the value proposition is to this ad lib that you're going to be able to present to us when you arrive. And so, Dimy, I think you're up next with some final comments.
Yes. So venture school is going to be fun. It's constant. We work every day. You report out every day. You continue improving on your business model, on your pitch skills, etc. And these processes move you closer to your target, move you closer to de-risk your business. That's the purpose of venture school. It's to help you de-risk your business. And don't fall in love with your first model. The business model you're going to work on before coming to Iowa, most likely it's going to change. So don't fall in love with it, because once you start really the de-risking process, you will see that there are a lot of things that will need to change. Okay. Who judges your business model, Kimm?
Your customer.
Your customers. Your customers, they are the one that that have the power to judge your business models, because you are doing this to find the right business model that will work and serve your customers.
Absolutely. And so before Dimy says goodbye, I'm going to just offer that I'm available for any questions that you have related to this pre-work or anything related to venture school. And we are so excited to have you come and visit us, and we will work together. We will dance together, right, Dimy?
That's for sure. And Kimm has her playlist, of Afrobeat, and you'll love that. So definitely, folks, we thank you for watching this video. Reach out to Kimm, reach out to me, and you'll be receiving my emails very soon. And yeah, we look forward to reviewing your assignments and provide feedbacks before you arrive here. Thank you very much.